Hello and welcome to the Classlocator. I am Anuj and today we will be guiding you through the project Classlocator application, which is a React Native application. So this is the part 1 of the Classlocator application guide, and going further we will be deep diving into the each repository and through each directory of this Classlocator application. So in this part 1 we will be guiding you through the overview of this application, where we will be guiding you through each file and the directory and what purpose it serves. So starting with the test. So basically test is nothing but whatever you want to test, like it's a manual, like it is a automatic test where you will write some test cases, and before before releasing that application you can run those test cases on your local system, and then those tests when pass will give higher chances of getting it merged into the main uh, into the main uh, branch of the github of the git. Now it also serves the purpose of having a pipeline, like um, we can add the test in the pipeline setup, and as soon as the test get passed the pipeline proceed, otherwise it gets failed. Now we'll start with bundle. So it's nothing but a Ruby configuration. So it's so basically Ruby configuration is also required for the iOS development. So it actually forces the Ruby version to use the version which is mentioned in this config file. So these both files are not related to the development, these are automatically generated, and idea is just whenever you open any repository or any directory, so into any application such as IntelliJ IDEA, so you will get an IDEA folder which is hidden but as I open this application in the cursor, so IDEA folder is showing me here, but when you open this in IntelliJ it will not show. Similarly, when you open any application in VS Code, it will appear as .vs code. Now this is the main Android application file. So whenever you have tried with any Android development in future, in past, or whenever you tried with developing native Android application using Android Studio, so you may be familiar with this Android setup. So it will contain all the Android required files, such as it will contain Kotlin configurations, Gradle is the underlying technology on which your Android app compiles and runs. Similarly, we have application directory, app directory. It contains the build folder is a temporary folder in which you can find your APK file, the same APK file which is installed in your application. The AAB file, which is basically a file which is deployed to the Google Play console. So that's the main AAB file which is given to Google Play console, which ultimately gets released over Google Play Store. If we go inside in the main directory, you will find the engine. So that's where the engine is present. So this is the engine. This is the same HTML directory. This is the same vanilla CSS and JavaScript file, which is responsible for showing the map onto the mobile device as well. So that's the main crux of this application and how it serves the purpose of showing the map and the direction. So that's the assets. Inside assets you will find engine. Similarly, it contains many also inside assets you will find the Java Kotlin version of main application. This is the main application. You may be familiar with the Android Studio, so you may know that this is the main entry point of the application. Now similarly, this is contains all the icons of the application, like it contains various icons, the icons of your application, the icons how it will be shown over the inside your mobile application, the various designs and all are kept here. Now that's comes the most important XML file, which is Android manifest, and this is where you will be writing various configuration of your application, which will be which will be utilized by your underlying Android operating system, and it will then serve the purpose of then it will tell the operating system like what permission it required to run this application. And also this is the main this is the main file where you will be writing the intent, like whenever you click on any link and it directly opens in that particular application only. Like if we share any link, YouTube link over WhatsApp, then whenever you open that YouTube link inside the WhatsApp application, you will see that it will automatically get redirected to YouTube and it will open that particular video of also. So that is done here using the intent filter. So that's the intent filter. Similarly, we have the permissions filter. Permission, yeah, you will find. So I don't think so it's required any permission. So yeah, permission is not mentioned here, but yeah, intent filter is mentioned for the deep linking, and it connects all the various parameters like what icons, what security config it requires. Now this is the main build.gradle file. What purpose it serves? It serves basically, it tells where the Google Play console like what is the version, is the version upgraded, what is the minimum SDK version. Like there are many applications which are not, which can't be run on Android KitKat or Android Marshmallow or older Android 5.0 versions. So you have to mention that what is the minimum SDK on which this application can work and will be utilized. Similarly, version code is used to tell Google Play Console that this is the newer version and you have to push an update for that. This is the sign-in configs. Basically, this is nothing but a private key generated on your behalf, which will be utilized by Google Play Console to authorize that application that this is built by you and this keys belongs to you only. Similarly, we have the sign-in config for debug. This is for release, which you will use for Google Play Console, and this is for debug, which you will utilize here in local system only. Similarly, we have dependencies of React, Android from Facebook and all. So that's the overview of build.gradle file, and this build.gradle file is inside app folder. This is the key store file for the debug, and if we go further, yeah, so this is the main release key store file for the for Google Play Console, which will be used by Google Play Console to determine the authenticity of this application. Now if we go deep dive to, yeah, so source folder of Android is completed. So this is the outer build.gradle file just after the source folder. So you sorry, yeah, so this is the outer build.gradle file outside of source, outside of app directory, and this file serves the purpose of telling on what version and what minimum SDK required to build this application. Like you can see NDK version 27. So NDK means native development kit, that kit required to create cross-platform application. So this is the NDK version, and Kotlin version, the Kotlin code version on which this application was written, and all the things are mentioned here. So that's the small build.gradle file outside of the main build.gradle file, which is inside app directory. This is the configuration of the key store, like I already shown you the key store inside the app folder. So this is the configuration of that, like what's its name, what's its password and all. So this is the command of Gradle. Like this is not too much of bothering, but you can see what type of command it supports. So there are various commands: /gradle, build Android, run Android, release. All those commands are mentioned here, and it is triggered by this only. So this is the Gradle command file. This also the Gradle command file, like they both are related to Gradle command only. And if we go through the, yeah, so this is local.properties. Now this is the file which is here in this GitHub repository only, and it is mentioned in, and it is not going to be uploaded in GitHub, because this is the directory of my and SDK software development kit. And for you guys it will be different from the, it will be different for different application, different systems. So this is the local.properties telling this application that you need to search for the SDK in the following location. Now this is the auto linking library file, means whatever the node modules and whatever the node modules which are compiled using Gradle will be auto linked, so that it can serve the purpose without manually linking your application. So that's the overview of the Android folder, and that is this is responsible for deploying your application over Android operating system. Similarly, we have assets. So whatever you find, like this icon or whatever icon you can see over the application, these all are added here. Assets, image, inside that you will find IC launcher. This IC launcher is yeah, so you may be familiar with this icon. This is the same icon which is actually deployed in your which is shown in the app directory. So that's where the application icons are present. Similarly, we have all the icons inside assets image folder. This is the configuration for the iOS. You can deep dive the iOS with your own, like I am also not so much familiar with the iOS as of now, because I have been working mostly on Android operating systems. So you can try out iOS on your own if your system supports iOS development. Like you must have the Mac system on which you can test out the iOS development. Now here comes the most important part. This is one of the pre-built, it is one of the node modules, but builds on its own. So it means this is the same configuration as all the node modules, but it was purposely designed for this application only. So it serves the purpose of enabling a local static inside the mobile inside your mobile application. So this is the module developed only for this application, and this is the famous node modules folder. Inside you can find all the tools, and whenever you do npm I, it basically install all your modules required for this application inside this folder only. So this is pre-built node, so this is pre-built module for this application. You will not find this in node npm I, or you can't find in any online resource, but you will find various node modules inside that, and you will find node modules information in npm website as well. This is for enabling server inside your application, which ultimately serves the engine and which ultimately serves the static file. That's the source folder. This is the main playground area for you guys. Like you will be writing codes, implementing ideas, and resolving bugs inside this only. So this is where you will be finding where you have to apply the changes, where you have to make any changes. So this is the main source file which you have to think about. These all files are pre-built and automatically generated. Now this is ESLint. I mean even I don't know as of now for all such type of files, but in a nutshell I can say this is for ESLint. Like there is a ESLint command runs in your application, which basically tells the best practices to write any front-end files. So this is one of the thing. And git ignore, this is nothing but you don't want to send node modules and all such files which are not required for other. Like you don't want to publish those files, because it will make heavy and it will not get published over GitHub, and it will be troublesome to actually handle node modules and all such files in online repository. That's why you mention all those folders and the files which you can't upload and which is readily available by other developers also. So you have to mention all those files in git ignore. Now here comes the that's also something prettier, like I have installed a prettier um, extension, so that's related to that. Similarly, yeah, so just started with the app.js. Inside app.js you will find the main entry point of this application. This is the first file which runs before starting and before you start navigating any other application or any other uh, or start navigating or using the application. You can see this is the app navigation and this is the same navigation you on which you can start loading, or on which you can start interacting with this system and the application. So this is the main starting point of the application. You will find, so yeah, whatever the name you see, NIT or a class locator, or whatever it is mentioned here only inside app.json. This is a gem file. This is a gem file which is used by Ruby. Now this is the main in before app.js there is index.js. So you can see import app from app. So inside that app you will register your application, like it's an app registry which is the entry point for all React Native apps. So whenever you start the React Native apps, you have to register the component, the first component. If you are familiar with the React development as well, so you may be familiar, like you have to start with one component and that component is app, and inside that app we have the navigation. So you have to register that component, and for that you have to use the function app.register component inside index.js file. This is the configuration for Metro. This is the underlying technology which connects your React Native app to the Android or iOS platform, and whatever changes you made inside this application or inside the directory will be directly reflected. So these all configuration are mentioned here, and this is the documentation for the native static server which I have told in modules, inside the modules directory. This is nothing but replacement for this loss. We have lost our initial key, so we have made a replacement for that. So that's the only thing. And if we and you maybe know package.json, this is a famous file which tells what version it should install and what are the components required for the application, and it should mention all those here. So this is local static server file and all the files on all the modules mentioned here. You have to just give the command npmi and it will install the application using that file only. It will install the modules using that file only. Now if this is the readme file, so you can check out the readme file, what are the requirements and how you can run this application. So yeah, so that's the overview of this application. I hope you liked it, and if you want any help or if you want any suggestions for us, you can reach out to us in the below mentioned number. That's a WhatsApp number, and I will help you guiding through the application and whatever the issue you may be facing. For now, that's the first part, and we will be coming up with the next part soon. Thank you very much.